you. Dear Mr. President, no philosophy here. Fuel prices are too high. It's a statement, and it's not a plea, it's not a beg, it's a statement. Dear Mr. President, the fuel prices are too high. Oftentimes we ask ourselves, in terms of solutions, what should the solutions be? Well, the MP for Kihara, Ndende Nyoro, has said there are solutions to this. There are ways in which you can actually have this done. We're going to listen to a couple of the things that he said. But before and after we do that, we're going to take a snapshot of what's going around the city, and we'll hear from you, and indeed around the country, and we'll hear from you at some point. It's not a statement of plea. It's not a beg. Dear Mr. President, the fuel prices are too high.
The drastic fuel increment in terms of prices will hurt the economy of Kenya to tunes of hundreds of billions. But the amount we need to bring down the fuel prices is not even a fraction of that. It is too minute. And therefore, I believe that we should be looking at seeing how we can reduce the fuel prices now, so that we arrest many other issues, including inflationary pressures, that will be inevitable. And this is the proposal that I have, and which is easy. One, the amount Kenyans pay at the pump for distribution and margins of importers of fuel and retailers and wholesalers is around 22 shillings. I'm proposing that we reduce by 4 shillings. Wakipata shilingi 18 hawatafuga biashara. Kila mtu sasa lazima akaze mshipi. The second thing is that we must reduce our VAT further from the current 8% to 0. In the short term, we must exempt fuel products from VAT. And the third one is that we must do away with the road maintenance levy fund, Kenya shilling 7, that was added in the year 2024 by this government. I have gone further and tabulated the amount of money that Kenyans are going to save. And if we do those measures immediately, the fuel prices in terms of pump prices in Kenya will climb down to both of them below 190 shillings. That is diesel and petrol. Around 186 shillings for super petrol and 189 shillings for diesel. These issues, some of them need some involvement of Parliament. And it is for that reason that I have already written to the Clerk of the National Assembly of my intention to amend the VAT Act so that we exempt especially super petrol, diesel, and kerosene from VAT, and consequently make all those products VAT exempt and move them to the first schedule. The other thing is that I've already written to the National Assembly on the intention of amending the road maintenance levy fund by abolishing the 7 shillings that was added in the year 2024. Again, as I said before, this will give reprieve to Kenyans that the current diesel and super petrol prices should come down to below 190 for a liter of either. The other thing that maybe it is important for me to highlight, which is building up to that price, is also the subsidy. Diesel, as you saw in the circular, the added cost is higher. And for those prices to come to the ranges I'm talking about, we must also provision 5 billion Kenya shillings from the Fuel Stabilization Fund so that we reduce diesel by around 24 shillings. That is why the math is coming to around 189 for diesel. All those measures will stabilize our economy in terms of not have a very erratic inflationary pressures, and also we are going to have some stability in the medium and long term.
So he said it. oftentimes you're saying, well, don't just castigate, then talk about the issues that could actually be brought about that will solve the problem. And there he's told you, he's done the math. And then he said there are ways to actually bring this down. He's talked about the road maintenance levy fund, reducing that amount by about 7 bob. You talked about removing VAT on super petrol and diesel and kerosene. We know that kerosene remains unchanged in the latest EPRA announcements, but that there are ways in which this can actually be brought down. He's also talked about reducing the amount to pay at the pump from 22 shillings to 18 shillings. And if you did all of that, combine these numbers that he's talked about, which, by the way, people would still then be able to make their money if that's what they were after, that you could actually see fuel with the same parameters brought down to below 190 shillings. Answers given. So you're going to ask the question in terms of who is where with the issues that we have this morning, right? And likely, if EPRA announcements remain this way for the next, I don't know, many days until the 14th of June, that there are ways in which you can actually sort this out. It can come down to 190. The question is, do you have an appetite to do so? Well, if that appetite is not showing, it's definitely showing on the streets